Today, we will talk to each other about seeing guests. We will know if we see guests in general, or we saw guests from relatives. We will know how to prepare food for the guests. We will know its meaning for a man, a married woman, a single girl, and a pregnant woman. Firstly, guests are among the symbols that bring good news. This means that when a person sees that he has guests in the house, then good news and happy tidings will come to the dreamer. When a sick person sees that he has guests in his house, this means his recovery and his health improved. Receiving guests is also a symbol that heralds abundance in the dreamer's livelihood. Sometimes it indicates a partnership that a person can have. Guests are wonderful, indicating that big changes will occur in a person's life in the coming period, especially when we see the guests coming, looking good, and looking decent. A ransom of goodness and sustenance in general. On the contrary, if we see guests coming with a bad appearance, they don't look nice and their clothes aren't clean. Unfortunately, it is a wonderful thing that indicates problems rather than worries. The dreamer is exposed to envy and hostility, seeing female guests, seeing that the female guests also don't look nice. Sometimes they may be very thin, or women may see that they are thin and strong, or skinny. All of these visions indicate financial problems that the dreamer may experience. As for the women, they look nice and their clothes are clean. It means a fat woman. It is one of the symbols that symbolize marriage and the arrival of a suitor. Guests are relatives. When the seer sees that there is a relative, he visits him. Ransom for the coming of benefit. Between the shepherd and this person, sometimes it indicates joy, success, the occurrence of something joyful or happy occasions. When he sees that these guests are coming with food, unfortunately, when one dreams of seeing relatives carrying food, it sometimes indicates that something bad is happening. Sometimes the dreamer regrets doing something he did with people he saw coming as his guests. But when he sees relatives coming with good gifts, he will redeem the goodness, sustenance, and money that you will get. Sometimes, if there is a person traveling or an expatriate, it is one of the symbols that indicates the arrival or return of this person. As for seeing guests from friends, when he sees that my friend is the one hosting me, there is love between the opinion and this person. Seeing a coworker as a guest at my house denotes success, excellence, and achievements at work. As for hosting my boss or my manager at work at home, it is terrifying that he has the authority to express his opinion and have power. When a single girl sees that she has guests in the house, this is also good news for her, with success in marriage in the near future, as we said, provided that they are good-looking. For a single girl, receiving guests indicates the arrival of goodness and the arrival of money. When you see that one of your relatives is the one visiting them, this is a kinship relationship. Guests. When you see that there are guests in the house who eat, this is your livelihood and success in her life in general. A married woman is one of the symbols that indicate goodness and stability, on the good news of sustenance for her and sustenance or sustenance for her husband. Happy occasions come, especially when we see these guests coming looking good, and we honor them or host them. Sometimes a pregnant woman seeing a guest heralds the birth of a boy, especially when the wife is from the husband. Guests who are relatives of a pregnant woman are symbols that indicate kinship and benefit. Preparing food for guests. When a person sees that he is preparing food for guests, it is one of the symbols that indicates joyful occasions. Whether these occasions are special for marriage, special for success, or special for secrecy, especially for the arrival of an absent person or a person who is traveling. Preparing food for relatives. When he sees that he is preparing food, he sees the food being prepared on the stove or the oil for eating. Sometimes from or which is the oil for the frying pan. Sometimes some of the symbols are not praiseworthy. It may indicate anxiety or sadness. When a man sees that he has guests at home or that he is receiving guests if they are relatives, sometimes this indicates some benefit from them, a benefit he will obtain, or an interest he will obtain through these people. Or also from the visions that indicate livelihood, work, money, and the possibility of a partnership. When he sees that he is receiving important guests, It is among the visions that sometimes indicate a position or status that he may obtain. It might happen to her, preparing or serving food to guests and offering desserts. Good news for joy and happy occasions, and success and achievements, whether in his ordinary life or in his practical life. IHR